Welcome on into 19 on the Clock, your Tri-State High School and College Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pushkar. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jackson McCarty. And Jackson, back in the studio today because Bengals Now was a little earlier this week. So,
yes,
we're like, yeah, it's Wednesdays.
We shot it on a Monday this week. But the whole point of us being here is to maintain our title of most nomadic podcast, maybe in the world. Which is something that I'm actually trying to make a phrase for us.
I think we could move into the next room.
That would be
at some point. You think that let's get that camera? Actually just slide the camera around?
I'm thinking a live view in the parking lot.
Hey.
Next. Little sun on us, maybe some snow time.
Car seat podcast. Hang out in the back seat, have some snacks and drinks.
There we go. Or what if we get in What if we get in different cars and we make Nick Gieske pan the thing back and forth between the windows every time we talk?
I think he would love that so much. And definitely is going to listen to this and know that we've said that.
Don't worry, I'm going to tell it.
Okay, good.
Either way, Bengals Now, being earlier in the week, wanted to be able to get some of the lines for the games, the game of the week that we'll have on Final Quarter. There was just a handful of different variables that, easier to manage on Wednesdays.
There's enough things that need the week to progress to get to talk about.
Yes.
To really be able to talk about it. So
yeah, and the Bengals having a short week doesn't mean we have to.
No.
Come on now.
No, we need to work harder and longer.
I'm even thinking we should take a bye week.
Is that just because I'm on vacation?
Yeah.
Soon? Yeah, okay.
But no, we're gonna have a real special guest on that.
Oh, I'm gonna listen to that episode. I'll be really honest.
I'm probably gonna have to listen to it again to catch, to wrap my brain around the experience.
Listeners, you are in for a treat when that comes around.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, an experience.
An experience. I like that one more. All right, we've got five games in the collegiate ranks.
Yep. And then we're playing this week.
Yep. And then we've got 3 games on the high school level, 2 of which are pretty much to decide conferences.
Okay.
There's one that's kind of sort of. What was the thing that I was patenting a while ago? The triangle of death or something, or triangle of chaos?
Yeah, triangle of chaos.
We've got a triangle of chaos situation brewing in one, kind of maybe. We'll see. But we'll start with the game of the week, which is out in Indiana. We talked about the Lawrenceburg East Central game to open the year, and then we haven't really gotten to move back into that realm since then. We are now back. Lawrenceburg, now a 2-time feature on this podcast this year, going up against South Dearborn. Now, quick notes. Indiana, we make note of often when we talk about them that it is harder to pull the stats from a lot of these teams just because they don't have conferences and stat compilers that are pushing all this together. So we'll start with South Dearborn, who is the away team, 4-4. They have dropped games. The 2 games that they've played against local DMA teams, Batesville, who they lost 17-14 to, and then East Central, they lost 66-6. So, East Central on a tear. Ryan Mingus, one of the best running backs in the Tri-State. Very, very talented dude. Cannot wait to talk about him when it comes to playoff time.
Okay.
Regardless, they'll be finishing their year against Rushville. And overall, we don't, like I said, it's hard to kind of compile their stats. They have 5 games worth of things listed. 8 games have already been played, so I don't want to present those as fact. But what we do know, Mason Lane was their primary running back through the games that we had tracked, almost 400 yards. And then they've got a freshman quarterback, Griffin Sturgeon. He's kind of finding his way, 700 yards, over 700 yards, and then 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Okay. So some interesting things. South Dearborn feels like a team that is building to me. They don't feel like the finished product by any means. You can never really be the finished product if you have a freshman at your starting quarterback position. Lawrenceburg, on the other hand, they're getting pretty close to where they need to be. And to that final mark that you're looking for. They are 7-1. Their lone loss, 39-12 to East Central.
Yep.
Who, different conferences.
That was the first game of the year.
Correct. Well. And it's also different conferences. You do not have to worry about running into them again this year.
Sure.
It's just, because East Central is just one of those teams that's hard and brutal to play against. Taylor, they beat 41-13. Batesville, they beat 48-6. Those are the 2 games that you would primarily, the teams that we would know about here in the Tri-State. And then this is their final game of the year according to their max prep schedule. So they will finish out with 9 games. South Dearborn will have 10. I don't know what the disconnect is. That might just be a me issue or a Max Preps issue. I'm not sure. But be that as it may, that is currently what it had listed. The players I want to talk about here, Crew Gilmore, a guy that we started talking about last year, I remember, because I believe he was a sophomore last season. And he was kind of a really good example of, I can't wait to see what he develops into. He is developing very quickly. Over almost 1,500 pass yards, about 74% completion rate, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then almost 500 rush yards and 6 on the ground. So, that's a legit quarterback.
That's a nice all-around offering as a quarterback. And B, 10-1 touchdown and interception rate. I'll take that any day.
Absolutely. Well, and especially because correct me if I'm wrong, if you've got the Lawrenceburg thing up, but if you go to the player stats, you check Crew Gilmore, I think he's a junior. Because I really do want to say that he was a sophomore starter last year, and I should have checked that beforehand either way. But behind him, you've got Isaiah Williams.
Junior.
Yeah. See, so we've got another year of him. He's averaging, obviously, a little under 200 yards per game right now, but he can probably get over that mark, continue his high rate of efficiency, continue to be a stud on the ground as well. Maybe even get some offers. Who knows? We'll have to see.
Sure.
His running back that you partner him with primarily, Isaiah Williams, 642 rushing yards, 12.6 yards per carry.
Okay.
12.6. He is getting over a first down every time he touches the ball. 9 touchdowns, and then when you add in his receiving totals, over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown there. And then if you're watching Crew Gilmore and you're like, I want to know who the receiver is that is really helping this growth and this facilitating who he's becoming as a player, Keaton McGrath's your man.
Okay.
Over 700 receiving yards. So almost 50% of the split. It's got to be 48, 49%. 18.1 yards per catch, 11 touchdowns. So over 50% of the touchdown count too. That's 55%. Quick math. Look at that. We have evolved so much as a podcast.
We're learning how to do math here.
So yeah, Lawrenceburg really, and by no means is this any offense to South Dearborn, because I haven't had the chance to watch them this year. They could totally pull a rabbit out of the hat and shock me. It's been a low exposure.
For sure.
Lawrenceburg, this feels like a very important game for us to get a refresher course on not only who they are, but what they've become since the beginning of the year. And I fully intend and believe that we'll have plenty to talk about with them when it's playoff time. Okay. And I think that this game will be since we'll have cameras there, will be a great way for us to showcase that and to go ahead and actually get some tape on a team that I think is going to be very dangerous moving forward. So I say all that to say,
Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, I've got to go with the Tigers there.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll be quite honest when you pointed out me pulling up the Max Prep page.
Yeah.
Part of it was because I was like, East Central, what
they've been up to?
Well, no, what division are they? Type thing. Because growing up in Indiana, I am always aware of the size difference between 5A, 4A, 3A, things like that. And knowing that East Central is a 5A school and Lawrenceburg is a 3A school, when you have a meeting up like that, it's it's probably going to go East Central's way. But to still have kept it relatively close at the start of the season, I think was a good sign for the Tigers. Yeah. And now it looks like they're just one of the better teams in 3A at the end of the day. That I think I was looking at the Max Preps rankings, and they had them at 4th in the state of 3A. Yeah, and it's okay, that makes sense. And at this point, I'm to me, I don't think Lawrenceburg is going to be facing anybody until they start getting into playoffs, where maybe it's some of the teams up north that are coming down here and making some noise. So yeah, I would also put them over South Dearborn.
Right. It feels like it's our southeastern Indiana teams. It's like Indy. It's just in terms of hubs.
Yeah, I mean it's Fort Wayne. Mm-hmm. It's Northwest Indiana, and I'm thinking specifically the Chicago area.
Kind of what the East Central is to Cincy.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Gary, the East Chicago's, things like that. You do have the West Lafayette schools that put out really solid programs and usually have like a couple 4 to 5 star player or 3 to 4 star players on those squads at any given time. Indianapolis area, Fisher's obviously going to as well, and then it would probably be like Evansville.
Yeah.
And I would probably put Evansville in that like bottom area. So like, yeah, there's a lot of different hubs of where good schools are coming out of when it comes to the Indiana high school football landscape.
And we're really just not that far from seeing it.
Yeah.
And seeing how it all comes together. I'm really excited. That's one of those that, even though we haven't gotten to talk about them as much this year, it is like very much top of mind for me that we've got some really cool stuff that's about to happen out there.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to playoffs this year.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like, yeah, last year we kind of just threw me into them and I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, we got late. Like, yeah, we by the time we were fully functioning and rolling, we were 3 or 4 weeks out from the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or even 2 maybe. I don't think it was actually that long. It was surprisingly short.
Well, yeah, but now that we've had the full season, the scope and whatnot really gets to kind of shine the light on. And it feels more developed, as it should after a year. But either way.
But speaking of playoffs.
Yes. Well, and
titles.
And Triangle of Chaos.
And triangles.
So with I had a point. Now it's gone. It's okay. With Game of the Week.
Yes.
So Lawrenceburg and South Dearborn won that.
Yes.
Fairly comfortably. But number 2, deservedly so, was a game that's become a rivalry, has become a locked-on, have-to-talk-about game on this podcast with Anderson and Winton Woods. Because they, over the past 2 or 3 years, have gone like at battle constantly, typically for the ECC title. That still remains kind of true. Like Anderson will lock up the ECC title if they win this game. Winton creates the whole Winton has beat Anderson has beat Kings has beat Winton issue.
Okay.
And I'm not entirely sure how they sort that. If they go by points for, we know that it's Anderson.
Yeah,
because they score like 100 points a week.
Yeah,
but there's whatever chaos that you have to get through there. It does create 3 teams that have all lost to one another at the top of the conference if the Warriors can pull it off.
Okay,
let's start with the Raptors because we've talked about them quite a bit on this podcast. So it's we want to hit the high notes. We know what the Raptors do. Win 8-0. Their best wins, I would say, are Cooper 52-10, Kings 49-24, and then Lebanon 36-10. And then they close their season against Loveland. They have 4 receivers over 400 yards. So without Tyson Weaver led, I think he's like over 600. But It's Tyson Weaver, it's Tegan Jalek, it's Jordan Davis, it's Cooper Kathman. As a team, they have 25 sacks, so over 3 a game. Their turnover rate has been down, but I think that's just Kamari Ty and Ace Alston being really good defenders.
Okay.
I think it's more of a no-fly zone instead of like we're going to pull this one out of the air.
Can I?
Yeah.
Is Anderson the Ohio State of our Ohio schools?
I think a lot of people would be upset if you didn't say Moeller.
Okay.
But I kind of think so.
My only... And I think about it like in like a Big Ten sense, not necessarily like an NCAA sense, because like Moeller to me has that feeling of like the SEC where they're, and especially this year, where they did lose to Elder, and it's like one of those years where Bama was nonstop wins, but Georgia beats them, and you're like, oh, is Georgia better? And then it's like, no, Bama still going to win the national championship or something like that.
Right.
And so that to me, it's just like Anderson every time. It's just like, yeah, they just crushed them.
You almost want to
like, oh,
you almost want to put it like in an SEC sense where it's like Bama is Moeller, Georgia is Anderson.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like just kind of in that, because Anderson is more new money if you're going to put it in that phrase.
Okay.
But they are maybe the hottest running engine in the tri-state.
Yeah.
And constantly, like every game that we've talked about them, when Friday night rolls around and I'm looking at the highlights, I go, it still gets me every time.
Well, it's just one of those things, like we talk about Owen Scaff every week now. We're 2,600 yards passing.
Yes.
And I open up this file, this document that we share, and I go, that it can't be right, but I'm sure it is. Like, there's no reason for me to actually, especially when you're like, oh yeah, and then there's 4 receivers over 400 yards, and you're like, okay, well yeah, that's 1,600 of those 2,600 passing yards.
Well, and to be behind Justice Burnham last year,
yeah,
and then to as soon as you take over the starting role, have
to
a
fill the shoes
to have a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio because he's 25 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Yeah,
to be completing over 72% of his passes, and to still offer almost 300 rushing yards.
Yeah,
it's like how do you do that? Where are you getting these kids?
Where are you growing them?
Oh, yeah, literally.
What are we feeding these kids? What kind of corn we got in this?
And yeah, and like while I would say the running game is like the point that you would want to attack if like you're going to win the game, they don't really lean on. Like Jordan Davis is still a great running back, 433 rushing yards, 5.6 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns. They give him the goal line work.
I was just saying, yeah, it's red zone work,
right?
So,
but like you try to eliminate the run game. And they go, okay, we're going to air it out for 300 yards. Have fun. And if you can manage to slow Owen Scaff down a little bit, Jordan Davis is a good running back.
Yes.
It's just you can't get away from it. And then whenever you do have your chance on offense, you have Kamari Ty and Ace Alston, like we mentioned. You have Brady Kuhn, who has 5.5 sacks and 71 tackles and 17 tackles for loss. Like your running back hasn't even blinked by the time Brady Kuhn is back there dragging him to the earth. And it is just absurd what they have been able to put together.
It is.
Evan Dreyer has, I believe, created the most impressive year-over-year program.
No, I don't think I can. I mean, the only one I could maybe make a case for, and it's not necessarily in Ohio, is Beechwood.
Yeah. But you have to remember Jay Volker, when he came into that, they had already won 2 or 3.
Oh, sure.
Straight.
Sure.
And so, but yeah, like,
but to still maintain that,
yes,
especially at a high school level, it's interesting.
It is absurd.
So.
Credit where it's due. But on the other side, a team that we have not gotten to talk about much, I believe the only time we've talked about them this year is when they played Kings.
I believe so, yeah.
Winton Woods, the Warriors. Yes. They are 7-1. As mentioned, they did lose to Kings 16-14. They'll finish their year against Lebanon, I would argue, 2 of their 3 hardest games the final 2 weeks of the year. Yeah. So going to tell us a lot about who Winton Woods is to finish this out. The players you want to know. Bryshawn Brown, their quarterback, he's been somebody who we've quite literally gotten to watch the entire development of, and I have since I've been at Fox 19. I've watched him as his first year starting all the way through. 1,600 pass yards, 60.2% completion rate, 14 touchdowns, 2 picks. Very efficient quarterback. Not really a runner. Have seen him do it, but he's a little bit more of that pocket presence. Try to pick things off. They lean more into their running game. For certain, Travis 744 receiving yards. I'm sorry.
They lean into the passing game.
Yes, they do not really lean into the running game.
Yep.
15.8 yards per catch, 7 touchdowns. He has been a weapon out there. And then the main defender I want to focus on, Javion McKinney-Cooper, 6.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. This is a rebuilding year for Winton, openly. And rebuilding is still probably going to be good enough for an 8-2 season. But this is not the clash that we're used to seeing out of these two teams. I still think that Chad Murphy is put together a very, very good team. I still think that they are, like next year and the year after, they're going to be right back where they were with just that crazy defense. But when you lose an Alabama commit and Justin Hill, and you lose some of the more key prominent figures that were on that defense last year, it doesn't always just snap back into place. I know we talk about Anderson managing to do that, but we are also screaming like it is impossible whenever we talk about it.
It shouldn't be possible to do what Anderson does.
Exactly.
And teams coming close to it is already another major good accomplishment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. For them to retool, it's like when Ole Miss retooled.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, they went 9-3.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well, you lost a close one to Kings.
Right.
Gonna have a tough one against Anderson.
And then you maybe get your bounce back against Lebanon. Like,
who knows?
But that is, and I think that we might end up talking about Winton Woods next week because I think Winton and Lebanon is a very fun game.
I think so too.
But either way, I think that also kind of makes things fairly obvious where we stand on this one.
Yeah, Raptors.
Yeah, the last time we talked about Anderson, we both were pretty much like not betting against them until they lose.
No.
And
we made the mistake at the start of the year. We're not doing it anymore.
Correction. I picked Anderson in that game.
Well, yeah, you did.
Because I went perfect for a second there, and then it all fell apart on me. We didn't check predictions.
We'll catch up next week.
It's over.
We'll catch up by the end of the year or something like that. I don't know. It's fine.
I just totally,
We'll do it for playoffs.
Oh, there we go. That could be fun.
I can start calculating everything, make a little spreadsheet, put it together, and then be like, here's the results at the end of the day.
Oh, man. You don't have to do all that work, brother. All right, and then the last one, a game that I will have the pleasure of being at this weekend, or Friday, if you count that as the weekend. Also, a GCL Co-Ed title game. Woo! Alter and Baden. Going to be a really fun one. Very excited for this. So the Knights of Alter are 6-2 so far this year. Their losses are to Taft, 33-27 in overtime. Taft, a very good team, a team that I wish we had been able to talk about more so far this year.
Absolutely.
The problem is kind of on that Anderson thing where it's just they're too like that. We just know that they're going to win most of their games by a lot of points.
Sure.
And that's kind of hard to bring to a prediction.
It feels like when we bring up Anderson too, a lot of the times it's because we want to talk about the other team that they're playing.
Yes. Whereas Taft, it's just like a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
And they were on my list of schools that
to watch.
Well, no, I'm talking like in the middle of the season. Whenever I didn't do the games.
Yes.
I think like because it was like okay, their schedule's really not finding a soft spot here. We have to talk about the Senators though.
Yeah.
So either way, Alter did lose that game in overtime against a very good team, and then Trotwood Madison they lost 20-6. Not a DMA team. Not very familiar with them. They beat McNick 12-0 last week, which is I would say their best win to this point in the season. And then they'll close their year against Chom Julien, who is at the bottom of the co-ed. So it is what it is. Also, they didn't have any other sacks listed. Like everybody was on 0, and I refuse to believe that's accurate. Okay. So I'm just going to say that has not been inputted. The players you want to know about, quarterback Rod Owens, they're not a pass-heavy team, but he is not a pass-heavy guy. He gets his work in multiple facets. 326 passing yards, about 54% completion rate, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and then you add 310 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns over there as well. Drew Cripps, the running back, almost at 600 rushing yards, 8.4 yards per carry, and 9 touchdowns. And then Noah Reed, the defender we want to shine a light on, 3 interceptions.
Okay.
The GCL Co-Ed is not a blind spot for me, but it is one that I unfortunately don't get to do that often because a lot of times the anchors who you see every night on Final Quarter need to remain close to the station. Mm-hmm. And, so a lot of those co-ed teams manage to make that happen where they can get back and start to do all of the work that they put in.
Sure.
But all that to say, still one of those that every time I watch the highlights, Alter is like I want to see, I need to go back into where we store our video and watch their stuff because I know they're a good team and I need to become more familiarized with them. A team that has kind of ingrained itself in my head this year is Baden. Mm-hmm. Because, they have some real problem children in a good way.
Baden feels like is a team that I feel like I wake up every Saturday and I'm checking Twitter and I see Joe or Jeremy tweeting about Baden winning again. And I'm like, okay.
Yep. They are a very, very quality team. Lam Grayson, who we'll delve off into the numbers of him, has become one of those that I just expect to hear his name on Friday nights.
Okay.
He's a very talented kid. 8-0. I'd argue their 2 toughest opponents though are their final 2 games because it's obviously Alter this week, McNick next week, and that's kind of like the top 3 of the co-ed this year. 26 sacks. Now listen to this number, Brad. 17 interceptions as a team.
Whew.
That is over 2 a game.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that is. Oh.
Yeah. They are.
Oh.
And in a conference that is not known for its passing.
Yeah.
They're still doing that.
Yeah, that's just waiting to see the ball get thrown and going, I'm just going to run in there and grab that one.
Oh, yeah. It's insane. They are a max effort team. And really it starts with pure, unbridled efficiency on offense. Mm-hmm. Quarterback, Colt Emerson. 900 pass yards, not blowing the doors off the building, but 73.4% completion rate, 11 touchdowns, not an interception yet this year. You cannot ask for it any better than that, especially when you are a primary running team like they are with Lim Grayson. Like I mentioned, 850 rush yards, 8.6 yards per carry. He's found the end zone 19 times.
Woo.
Yeah. And then a couple of the names you need to know on defense, Logan Carwish, I believe is what I'm going to go with there. 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. And then Jordan Kreider, Cooper Clay, both have 4 interceptions a pop.
Okay.
Yes. Vicious. A vicious team. And one that, while admittedly their schedule has allowed them to come into this game a little bit more rested than I think Alter has been tested a little bit more.
Okay.
They had that Taft game. They learned from that Taft game. They had that game against McNick and looked really good in it. Their defense looked phenomenal, holding McNick to 0 points. So this one is like a legitimate jump ball for me. And while I know what I get in Baden, the Alter rather of it all is kind of giving me some pause here because I really do think that this is going to end up being a close one.
Does the mystery of Alter kind of intrigue you because you haven't watched as closely as you may have wanted to?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that they're not going to try to pass. And when a team is that committed to the run as to only give up or to only throw, 300-ish passing yards in a year and still win 6 games, and the only 2 losses being to an out of regioner and then Taft, it's like, no, something's very clearly working here. And I think that Taft would probably be Baden. And so like for Alter to take them to overtime
says a lot.
Right. Is giving me a hold on, wait a minute here. Like this game is not cut and dry. It's not an undefeated versus a team that's going to be happy with second in the GCL Co-Ed. This is going to be a great game and a game that I'm super pumped to be at. I'm going to make you pick first is also what that means.
So when I look down at these statistics, I see 26 sacks. Mm-hmm. That in my head goes, even if they don't pass, that's tackles for loss on running plays.
Yes. And
since we don't know as much about Alter's offensive line, makes me go, Carwish probably getting through that, probably making a dent, probably stopping anything from progressing. I got to go Baden.
And it's totally fair. Mm-hmm. I get it. And I believe, if I remember, I didn't write the name down, but I think it was kind of a 3-headed monster for Alter in terms of the run game. Like, they do still have more production coming out of there than just the guys I mentioned.
Oh, sure.
I kind of want to take Alter just to make things interesting.
Okay. You're allowed.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Because because I'm also taking pause because it is going to be at Baden.
Yeah.
Which, I am a believer in
home field advantage. And everything, yeah.
Even though, it's a 20-minute drive or whatever. Like, it's still, you get the bigger bleachers when you're at home. You get, and then they have to sit on the little,
Yeah, some of the ones that have no pads,
exactly.
No backs.
Exactly. But, yeah, I think that Alter has been able to develop more as a team at this point in the year through what they've done on their schedule.
Okay.
And I'm going to take them to win this one and give us one game that we split on.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. I do have a feeling, though, that we're not going to be splitting that much.
I don't think we're going to split at all if we do.
Yeah.
In the college side of things. I'll be very honest with you, is that I went, wow, that's a tough lineup. Mm-hmm. Which is why a lot of my notes are not necessarily about the game and more about teams in general.
an umbrella statement of what's happening.
Exactly. And so let's talk about the first game. I think the best game, or has the makings of being the best game, and that is going to be on Friday night. So it will be going up against you out at Baden and Alter.
What are you doing?
Well, but what at this point do we not have, if not me texting you about Louisville games on Friday nights while you're at high school games?
That's fair. No, that's totally valid.
So Louisville's heading down.
Shout out JMU and Bob Chesney.
Louisville's heading down to Miami, taking on the number 2 Hurricanes.
That's such a fun game.
It is, and it's this weird thing where I'm like, I do not think that Louisville matches up in a way where I go, well, Louisville can really clearly win this game, but they match up well.
They do
in senses. Louisville is 4-1. Yeah,
we talk about Louisville. We've talked about every Louisville game. I still don't feel that confident that I know what Louisville's about.
No, I don't either.
Sorry, I just wanted to interject that.
No, I'm totally okay because here's my thing. So Louisville's 4-1, Miami's 5-0. Line is at 13.5 Miami right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Friday game, 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. The defense on Louisville looks like what I would not expect a Louisville defense to be like.
Yeah.
It's arguably in the top, I would almost say a top 10 defense right now.
Yeah.
I know it kind of has.
It's under the radar.
It's definitely under the radar. It's one of those things where they haven't necessarily played the top offensive teams to shine even more. Mm-hmm. But just the way that they are able to hold things down, I think is very good. And when you look at like EPA on defense versus like a Miami's EPA, it's this weird thing where Louisville's offense is like kind of lower end, but their defense is so high that they average out to be pretty close to Miami, whereas Miami is like middle 30s on EPA, which makes them a better because they just have both doing pretty well.
Right, just high level volume, making it all work together.
The concern for me for Louisville going into this game is that Carson Beck is balling out.
Yes.
1,200.
Where did that come from?
1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns so far.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Did he just hate Athens?
Do you think? In my head, though, I'm also like, does
Mike Bobo's system not quarterback valuable? Like, I know they prefer to run.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, but I'm saying, like, does it actually like take the legs out from under the quarterback? Because like, look at their quarterbacks since over the past 5 years. It's been Beck. It's been. Did they ever actually
Stockton? Right.
Stockton this year? Did they ever actually put? Who was the Kentucky quarterback last year? The ginger.
I know, and I can't remember his
Vandergriff.
name.
Brock Vandergriff. Did they ever actually trot him out there?
I don't remember what he did.
Stetson.
Yeah. Stetson was one where I feel like he just benefited from like the situation.
But being an okay quarterback for a long time was always Stetson's ceiling.
Yeah.
He was never going to be elite. He was just capable of he's a game manager.
Vandergriff threw 165 yards in 8 games played in 2023, and that was it.
Okay. But point being, like, you look at, there's really not been an actually great Georgia quarterback since like Jake Fromm.
Now, I will say this. Stockton does have more yards so far this year than Carson Beck.
Pugsley, or however you say, Puglisi, whatever the backup's name that came in last week looked good.
Yes.
Like, they might be turning it around, but the point is the point. Carson Beck looks like a Heisman candidate right now, and he looked anything but that at Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, could it also just be the fact that like Georgia at its core is a defensive team that
3 yards in a cloud of dust
makes the offense not need to go off as much as like say like last year's Ohio State team needed the offense to do more, whereas like the Georgia team, it's like, yeah, we're just gonna stop things, and if that doesn't work, then offense, you need to step up, and then the offense is kind of like, hey.
Well, and that was we saw that a handful of times last year with them with the Kentucky game. They had a close one against like Vandy, right? And then like another close one against like Mississippi State or somebody weird.
Yeah.
Like it was,
I can't remember exactly on Georgia's.
Yeah, but either way, they had a few games where it was like, hey, it would be cool if the offense did something here, and Beck just didn't look capable.
For sure.
And then he goes to Miami with Cristobal, and who is their offensive coordinator now? I am blanking. Because I know Malzahn took the Florida State Norvell job. Miami's offensive coordinator.
Shannon Dawson.
Shannon Dawson. I should have known that. And he goes to Shannon Dawson's system, and it's like, whoa. Wait a minute. We've got a guy. We've got the dude that we thought was taking over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, which I mean, he's been there since 2023. He was at Kentucky for a year as the OC. Southern Miss, Houston. I mean, I will say that Houston period under Holgerson was a solid.
Was he there for Keenum?
It would have been 2021, 2022.
No.
Or 2020 to 2022, excuse me, with QBs.
Who would that have been? Would that have been Clayton Tune?
Maybe. Not 100% sure on that one.
Either way.
But I mean, he's obviously worked with Cam Ward last year. Now he's working with Carson Beck.
You know how funny it is that there are so many coaches that have worked with Cam Ward?
Yeah. Well,
like,
that's what transferring does.
I know, but like Eric Morris, the head coach at North Texas, helped develop Cam Ward and Patrick Mahomes and all these guys. There was more. Obviously, Shannon Dawson. And then there was another one that I'm blanking on that's like become very prominent. It's not Ben Arbuckle, but maybe it is Ben Arbuckle.
Could be.
Because he would have been there for the year of Cam and then the year of Mateer. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Cam.
Yeah.
Or it's Arbuckle.
Yeah.
Either way.
So back to Miami, Louisville.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that. I'm
it's
sorry.
Okay. No, you know that I will always go on these trips with you, but we'll eventually have to get back in the car and then like get on the highway again.
You just have to listen to me work my way through all the people that have worked with Cam Ward in his lifetime.
I let you stop at the Buc-ee's. You go and look at all of the drinks and all the snacks in the bakery, and you're like, oh, I want kolaches. I'm like, okay, you can only get one.
And then I get two.
And then you get two. And you're like, what about fudge? I'm like, no, we got to go. No beaver nuggets.
So I'm your child, is what you're
Exactly.
saying. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So Louisville's loss to Virginia last week it's this thing where like Virginia's not bad. Not a bad team.
They're a good team.
They're a good team.
Tony Elliott's figured it out. I thought he wasn't gonna.
But it's just that thing where I go, is the offense where it should be against, like when you look at that game? The biggest thing is the way that Miller Moss has been taking sacks. He has 13 sacks so far this year. That is a negative 109 yards.
Yeah.
And it's like other players have, 6-7 sacks, but it's like 30 yards lost.
Yeah.
It's not as much as like it's not even like, oh, it's half as many sacks, and
he's trying
if you
to
double the yardage, it's the same. It's like, no, if you double the yardage, it's still like 40 less.
Yeah, like he's still trying too hard to get away.
Yes, he's trying to stay up for too long without getting the ball out. And it's one of those ones where I just go, like, if there's anybody that I would have trusted to develop a quarterback, it's Jeff Brom. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, Miller Moss is a bust. I don't think he's going to be, a major draft prospect. He'll probably look like a Tyler Shook
I just think
if he goes. But
I just think the Magic, like, eventually Jeff Brom's home for Wayfaring Strangers was like gonna have to fail.
Oh, sure.
Because like he is taking guys that were like high level prospects that haven't done anything.
Well, and I think that's the key thing with a lot of where he's had success in the past was that it wasn't just getting transfers and rotating through things. It was like having a guy that's, like he took over Purdue. David Blau's already there.
Yes.
Solid. Gets a year with Elijah Sindelar, who's been like under Blau, filled in when Blau was injured, stuff like that.
To O'Connell, right?
Well, and then it was like his first. It was O'Connell, and I can never remember the. Oh no, it was.
Did he have Hudson Card?
Yes.
It was Hudson Card.
Was Card's the one that went to Cal, right? Or
he came from Texas.
No, he came up from. No, Card went to Purdue with Walters.
Okay.
It's I can never remember. He transferred to Cal when O'Connell took the job.
The only name that's coming to my head is Davis Webb.
Yeah,
and
it's not that.
He did not play at Purdue.
And then transferred to Louisville the first year for Braum, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the same kid?
It was the same kid. He left Purdue under Braum because O'Connell was taking all of was the guy.
I should so be able to
went to
figure this
Cal
out.
and then went back to Louisville for his last year.
I should so be able to figure this out. Why can't I? Yeah, I'd do that. Either way, at a certain point, your rope does have to run out of just taking former 5-stars that haven't amounted to anything yet. Somebody is going to have to ultimately not be great.
Oh, yeah.
That is just what it is. But Braum is still putting together a very consistently solid, good team that is capable of giving anybody a headache on their best day.
I'm not a subscriber. I can't read.
You might be best off going to his first year.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. But yeah, it's one of those ones where it's again, just at the end of the day, he's probably it's one of those things where I'm like, he's probably never going to leave this Louisville team at this point.
But he also is. This is year 2, right?
This is year 3.
So I would assume his next quarterback is his own.
Yeah,
should probably be, because I think you can do the transfers for 2 or 3 years to get to that point.
It's that, or it's why does this make it so difficult on me? Going all right, because Malik Cunningham was the quarterback, left in 2023.
Right.
It is Jack Plummer.
Oh, I should have been able to figure that out.
That was bad on both of us. But yeah, Jack Plummer was the one that had moved around a lot. All that to say, Louisville and SMU feel like the last challenges left on Miami's schedule.
Yes.
I think Miami is going to be the team that plays somebody in the ACC championship. Mm-hmm. This will be interesting to see.
I think they're probably undefeated going into that game.
Yeah, I
spoiler alert for how this is about to go.
Don't I'm looking at when I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, there's nobody that beats them. So, so yeah, that game is again Friday, 7 p.m. Now that we've finished doing that wraparound, let's move over to Ohio State at Wisconsin. This is a 3:30 game on Saturday. Ohio State is undefeated, 6-0. Wisconsin is 2-4. Spread 24.5 points.
Now that James Franklin is gone and that Band-Aid has been ripped off, can this game get Luke Fickell fired?
So my literal first note was, could we see the third head coach firing of the Big Ten this year after this game?
I think so. I will say that it's kind of an unreasonable one because Ohio State was always supposed to win this game. But if they beat them like Oregon beat Oklahoma State earlier this year, I think Fickell is packing his stuff.
I think if they beat them like Iowa beat them last week. Yeah. Because how do you lose 37-0 to an Iowa team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it should not be possible.
Wisconsin's very anemic on defense or on offense, excuse me.
Because their quarterback situation just wasn't really addressed.
Well, they've rotated 3 quarterbacks so far this year.
They transferred 2 in that really didn't give much promise.
Yeah, it's been a lot of moving pieces that are still just trying to get fit in. Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, at this point, it's just like.
I think that there's an ancient curse in Madison, Wisconsin, that dooms any head coach that tries to
run an air raid.
Yep. that tries to run an air raid in Madison, Wisconsin to fail.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to. There are certain schools. It's like taking the triple option away from the military programs.
Yeah.
It's like you don't do it.
You don't.
If you want to run air raid, go out west. Which is also still the Big Ten now. Like,
yeah, take it to UCLA.
Yeah,
don't put it in,
or go play on the Atlantic coast and be a Cal coach.
Go play on the Atlantic coast. Go coach SMU.
I cannot stand conference realignment.
But it's just funny to make you bring those up every time.
We will also spend 30 minutes ranting about conference realignment if you let me. So I'm not going to let myself.
So my takeaway from Ohio State at Wisconsin is that it's Ohio State.
What's the spread?
24.5.
Over.
I think
Taking Ohio.
Iowa beat them 37-0. Unless Ohio State puts in their second stringers in the third
to start
quarter,
the game. I think that, unironically, I think that they win that game by 37, even if they had their second stringers all game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's insane.
Fickle's lost the locker room. Like, I think that Fickle can be a good coach. I think he can still succeed. I have not given up on him as a long-term person.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is done. He needs to go back to Ohio State to be an analyst. He needs to get on the desk for ESPN or Fox or whoever. He needs to do something besides be in Madison right now.
Yeah.
You need to recharge the batteries. Something has to give here.
Yeah, I even wonder if it's like go to a G5 school for a couple years.
Totally could.
Like kind of do the Lane move.
I'd still take a year off because even Lane did the analyst thing for Saban for a while.
Yeah, and it was just like, what's his FAU?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like, it could have been Cincinnati, I guess.
Toledo. If Jason Candle ever actually leaves.
Well, there's a Penn State opening. So speaking of teams that are done this year, Oklahoma State is hosting Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State is 1-5, 0-3 in Big 12. Cincinnati is 5-1, 3-0 in the Big 12.
Do you think the students in Stillwater know there's a football game this weekend?
Yeah, I think they still care.
Okay. They do. Well, I saw the shirtless rally, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, as someone with friends who are Oklahoma State alums, I know that they have. I believe at this point they have like disconnected the like emotional wavelength where like the games matter enough to them to like affect them emotionally.
Yeah. On
Saturdays, where they're just kind of like, I just want to see orange on the field, type thing. It's like, okay, that's cool. And yeah, it's just at this point, just
they
get to next year.
I about to say they could just get to daydream about who the next guy is.
Yeah, and it's once you hire a head coach is then when you get excited again, and until then you're just kind of numb.
As a Washington Commanders fan, that was the best part of my years. For every year we fired a coach.
Yeah,
because like once all hope is lost, you then get the promise of change. But either way, Cincinnati goes in there and wins that by 20, at least.
21.5 is the line. So, yeah, probably.
They got that right around where I'd want it.
UC's holding the Big 12 destiny in its hands. It's going to be it's similar to the ACC where it's Miami and then who's going to play them. It's Texas Tech and then who's going to play them.
Yep.
And as these teams keep eating each other in interesting ways, Cincinnati still kind of stays on top. Like ASU drops random games. Kansas State isn't looking as strong as they were. All that fun stuff. I mean, Cincinnati beat Kansas.
Yep. And that really just leaves Utah.
Yes, but even then they've lost games.
Yeah.
And it's
BYU.
BYU is one that actually is
because both of those are still remaining on the UC schedule, which is fun.
Correct. But yeah, I mean, it's BYU, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati are the undefeated teams in the Big 12 right now.
Kalani Sitake needs more respect, and that's all I'm going to say because we don't need to spend that much time talking about BYU.
Yeah. And then they do have a Baylor game coming up too that I think is because they're 2-1. I think that'll still be an interesting, tough game. And I'm not going to let you bring up Dave Aranda. So let's move over to EMU.
I'm glad you know, man.
Coming down to Miami, to Oxford. This is a noon game. They are Miami is 13.5-point favorites. EMU is in the bottom section of the MAC right now, as everybody expected. Western Michigan is atop the MAC. Like I've been saying, of course, not at all the entire time that we've been doing this. Eastern Michigan did play a tight game to overtime against Buffalo last week. I think not last week, 2 weeks ago, they beat Northern Illinois last week, who is firmly in the bottom two. I think EMU could get feisty in this game. I don't think Miami is going to lose.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think that this could be one where it's like tied at half, and you're like,
yeah, and then you come out in the second half, and EMU's a little more tired. And
Kentucky Toledo.
Yeah.
Kind of same script because that still finished like 19-9, didn't it? It was
something weird.
Yeah, so I think that you're in for a similar script to that.
Yeah. And lastly, if you couldn't tell, these games aren't that exciting. But lastly, Texas at Kentucky. Texas is 4-2, 1-1 in the SEC. Kentucky is 2-3, 0-3 in the SEC. This game is at 7 p.m. Texas are 12.5-point favorites. That is the closest spread of all of these games that I have listed off for you today.
Florida beat Texas last week, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to let that happen twice.
Oh, no.
Functional teams are not going to take Texas down 2 times in a row.
And listen, as much as we would like to make also it was 2 weeks ago. Florida played A&M last week.
Yeah,
that's what it was. As much as you know, I'm sure you and I would have fun making fun of Florida. They're not awful.
They're very Jekyll and Hyde is the problem.
Yes, and they're coin flippy in a way.
And take note that I didn't say bad. I said dysfunctional.
Sure,
which they are.
Well, it's just like to me, I'm like Kentucky's dysfunctional.
Yes,
right
but
now.
Billy Napier's
there's functions that don't work.
Yes, but Billy Napier's been a dead man walking for 15 games.
Yeah, but if you know you're going to die, you're not afraid to die.
That's fair.
And so you fall on your sword and just keep going at it. And that's, I think, that's arguably how he beat Texas. Yeah. Was just going, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. So
I guess I would still lump them into dysfunctional. I just don't think that they're not, like I said, they're not a bad team. It's just like one of those that Texas has their ducks in a row. Other than their quarterback might have a shoulder problem.
And I think that Texas' offense is in a weird place.
Mm-hmm, it is.
They are 103rd in the nation for EPA on offense.
Okay.
10th on defense.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you are very much making up for a not great offense with a defense. Mm-hmm. Kentucky's defense is okay. It's one of those things where I'm like I wrote down stoppable force versus movable boulder, but it's one of those things where I'm like Kentucky's offense isn't gonna do anything against Texas.
No,
but I'm interested to see if their defense is able to stop Texas's offense enough times that it keeps it close, it keeps it interesting, and that's why I'm like, in a way I'm like this could be a 14-0 Texas win. And I wouldn't blink.
Yeah, 14-0, 21-7, some kind of weird
14-3.
Right.
Yeah, something weird.
Just ugly.
And that's why I'm like the defenses could really keep this game low. And I don't know what to expect from it.
I mean I expect it to be gross.
Yeah.
Just truthfully. And I do expect Texas to win just because again, like the Stoops experiment at this point, it kind of feels like they've checked out.
Yeah,
I think all parties have kind of gotten the hint that things are not going out as they want. I'm sure some of those players are already like, I wonder if John Summerall is going to keep me around. But it's just, I don't know. They are much more okay with Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. We talked about how free they now get to be.
Yeah,
Kentucky doesn't have that yet.
No,
they are still because Stoops does have a large buyout. So there is a looming threat of. Well, maybe this era and this tenure and this whatever isn't done, and maybe we're rushing to give up on him, but it still feels like a situation where it's like surely the writing has been on the wall for, like I said with Billy Napier, like 15 games at this point.
Yeah, because he's through 2030 with the 2022 contract.
I believe it is like a $50 million buyout right now.
They would have to pay him $38 million within 60 days if they fire him at the end of the season.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see if there's anything different. No, it would. I think it's probably higher if they would do it right now.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, they're not Penn State and know that if they go, hey, James Franklin's out of here, hey, Mark Stoops is out of here, they're not just going to get an influx of donations.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Unless you can sell them on the fact that who you bring in next is going to change things. Yeah. Because it is still an SEC school.
But you don't know who that is yet.
I feel pretty confident that if Stoops is gone, it's Summerall.
Sure.
Former Kentucky player, has been tearing it up at Tulane.
Fair.
If I had to put any amount of money on it, it would all go on Summerall.
Okay.
But still, like, you're right. Like, it is still an open forum.
It's just one of those things where, like Summerall's not going to say in the middle of the season, yes.
Correct.
And that's the thing where I go then, well, but then if they leave that hesitation open, then, like, boosters and donators are going to go, well, I want a name before I write this check.
Yeah.
So.
Would. Especially considering the fact that, like, if you are so nailed on as to who your head coach is going to be, you really don't have to get out in front like all these other schools are. Like, Oklahoma State's already putting together their committee because they have no clue who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Even no matter how many people say that it's Zach Robinson from the Falcons. Like, it's still an open-ended forum.
Hey, they could get James Franklin. So, looking at the Fox lineup this weekend. Nebraska is at Minnesota on Friday at 8 p.m.
Sneaky fun game.
The big noon Saturday is Washington at Michigan.
Ooh.
Actually, I think both of those are pretty good Big Ten games.
Washington, Michigan is going to be like a really fun one.
Yeah. Because that Michigan UFC game was interesting to watch last week. And then on the Big 12 slate for the afternoon is Texas Tech at Arizona State. Again, this is one that, like, firmly will plant Texas Tech at the top and knock Arizona State down further if it ends up going the way that I would expect it to.
But it's such a Dillingham game to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It is the most Kenny Dillingham game to win.
Texas Tech, I believe, is 7th in the AP poll right now.
That's low. That is ridiculously low.
It's fine because it's Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, A&M, Ole Miss, Bama, Tech.
Yeah, no, I think that my personal AP poll goes Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, Ole Miss, them.
Interesting.
Tech.
And then A&M below them?
Yeah, I would probably, A&M to Bama.
Okay. Yeah, like, looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I'd move Texas Tech up to 5 or 6, move Bama down.
And don't get me wrong, Elko might be in Happy Valley next year. He's doing a fantastic job.
Okay.
But I still think that Tech, at this point, has been just so locked on.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue with the slate.
No, you're good. And at 8 p.m., Utah, BYU.
Beautiful. Such a game.
Utah matchup.
Such a good game.
That will be a really good game.
Is that at BYU?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fun. Rice Eccles sneaky, like in Utah, obviously, for the Utes. Sneaky, one of the hardest places to play in the country. I don't think it gets enough love. And UC having to go there really does concern me.
Yeah.
Later in the year.
I think that... Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that game when it comes around.
We sure will. In the meantime, where can you find us?
Hey, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts under the FOX19 Now Sports page. And when you hit the nice subscribe button on that means you'll get us on Thursdays. You'll get Gold Standard with Joe Daneman or Jeremy Rao or whoever's filling in that week with Charlie Goldsmith on Fridays. And on Mondays is Offsides with Gabby Sorrentino. And then you can also always find these video versions on the FOX19 Now YouTube page on fox19.com, as well as the link to the audio there as well. And Bengals Now will be airing at 2 p.m. the day that this comes out, and you can also watch it online afterwards.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And then watch Final Quarter. I believe it's 11:30 Friday night this week.
Yes. Is it on 19.3?
Should be on 19.1.
It's on 19.1. Okay.
Should be. Don't quote me on that, though.
Do you want me to double check our emails before we
it's fine.
Commit that to memory? All right.
That's okay, I think.
Well, there we go.
Well, because we can't change anything about it if it's not.
It's on. If it's not on 19.1,
it's on 19.3.
Change to 19.3. It's very easy.
We'll get it set up.
Thank you all for joining us, though. We will see you next time.
Have a go.